The username was ChemistKing88. For 3 years, this identity dominated the Darknet synthetic opioid marketplace. Reviews numbered in the thousands. Customer satisfaction rated at 98%. Shipping reliability described as better than Amazon. Product quality called pharmaceutical grade. Behind the screen name was not a single person, but a syndicate. 12 chemists operating from a legitimate pharmaceutical research facility in Wuhan, China. By day, they developed legal medications for international markets. By night, they synthesized fentanyl and its analogs for distribution to every corner of the globe. Their American customers numbered over 14,000. Their product had killed an estimated 2,300 people, and they operated with complete impunity, protected by distance, technology, and the knowledge that Chinese authorities rarely pursued fentanyl manufacturers. This is DEA Hunter, and this is the story of Operation Digital Dragon. The investigation began with a death. A 19-year-old college student in Ohio, found in his dormitory room by his roommate. Cause of death, acute fentanyl toxicity. The quantity in his system was 17 times the lethal dose. His laptop was open. Browser history showed recent activity on a Darknet marketplace. Order confirmation for research chemicals delivered 3 days before his death. The shipping originated from China. One death among thousands. One case among tens of thousands. But this investigation would grow into something unprecedented. DEA Cybercrimes Unit began tracing the vendor. ChemistKing88 had operated on multiple Darknet platforms over the years. When one marketplace was shut down, the operation migrated seamlessly to another. The consistency of product quality and shipping protocols indicated sophisticated infrastructure. Customer reviews provided unexpected intelligence. Buyers frequently mentioned specific characteristics of the product: unusual crystalline structure, distinctive coloring, consistent potency that suggested laboratory-grade synthesis rather than crude manufacturing. Chemical analysis of seized samples confirmed the pattern. The fentanyl traced to ChemistKing88 showed remarkable consistency. Purity levels between 96 and 98% across samples seized over 2 years. Identical impurity signatures indicating a single production source with rigorous quality control. This was not basement chemistry. This was professional pharmaceutical manufacturing diverted to illegal purposes. The digital trail was equally sophisticated. ChemistKing88 accepted only cryptocurrency, Bitcoin initially, then transitioning to privacy-focused alternatives as tracking technology improved, Monero, Zcash. The transactions were layered through mixing services designed to obscure origin and destination. Communications occurred exclusively through encrypted channels. PGP encryption for messages, Tor network for browsing, no direct contact information, no identifying details. The operational security exceeded most legitimate corporations, but every system has vulnerabilities, and the DEA had developed capabilities specifically designed to exploit them. What concerns you most about Darknet drug markets? The anonymity they provide to sellers, the accessibility they offer to buyers, or the international nature that complicates enforcement? Consider that question as this investigation reveals how one syndicate was ultimately exposed. The breakthrough came from an unexpected direction, a cooperating witness in an unrelated case. A mid-level distributor in California had been arrested with 4 kilograms of fentanyl. Facing a mandatory minimum sentence that would consume his productive years, he offered information. He had communicated directly with ChemistKing88's organization, not through the Darknet marketplace, through a secondary channel established for bulk customers. The channel was a messaging application popular in China. The distributor had been added to a group where large orders were coordinated, pricing negotiated, shipping arrangements discussed. The conversations were in English, but certain phrases suggested translation from Mandarin. More importantly, the group included location data that the participants had failed to disable, metadata embedded in shared images, GPS coordinates that placed the primary communicator in Wuhan, China. Wuhan, a city of 11 million people, a major center for pharmaceutical manufacturing and research, home to dozens of facilities with the capability to synthesize fentanyl at scale. The investigation had its first geographic anchor. DEA International Operations coordinated with Chinese counterparts through established diplomatic channels. The relationship was complicated. China had faced international pressure over fentanyl precursor exports for years. Official policy condemned the trade, but enforcement remained inconsistent and many manufacturers operated with apparent impunity. The request for assistance was specific. Location data suggested a facility in Wuhan's Dongxihu district, an industrial zone hosting numerous pharmaceutical and chemical companies. Satellite imagery identified 43 potential facilities matching the operational profile. Chinese authorities agreed to investigate. The process would take months. Bureaucratic channels moved slowly. International cooperation required patience. But the DEA was not waiting passively. The Darknet investigation intensified. Every Chemist King 88 transaction was analyzed, shipping patterns mapped, customer locations documented. The scale that emerged was staggering. Over the previous 3 years, Chemist King 88 had completed an estimated 23,000 transactions. Average order size, approximately 50 grams. Total product distributed exceeding 1,100 kilograms of fentanyl and fentanyl analogs. 1,100 kilograms, 11 billion lethal doses from a single Darknet vendor. The geographic distribution covered all 50 American states. Highest concentrations in Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Kentucky. The regions hardest hit by the opioid epidemic. The areas where demand was highest and prices could be maximized. The customer analysis revealed another disturbing pattern. Many buyers were not end users. They were distributors who purchased wholesale quantities, cut the product, and resold through street-level networks. Chemist King 88 was not just a dealer. It was a supplier to dealers, a wholesaler feeding the retail market. The deaths attributable to this single operation were calculated using distribution models and overdose statistics. Conservative estimate, 2,300 fatalities directly linked to Chemist King 88 product over 3 years. Upper estimate, exceeding 4,000 deaths when downstream distribution was included. 4,000 Americans dead from one vendor, operating from the other side of the world. Here is what made this syndicate different from other Darknet operations. Most Darknet drug vendors are small operations, individual entrepreneurs or small groups seeking profit through technology. They lack the infrastructure for sustained large-scale operations. They make mistakes. They get caught. Chemist King 88 operated like a corporation, division of labor, quality control processes, customer service protocols, shipping logistics refined over years. The organization had invested in infrastructure that ensured longevity. The chemical expertise was professional grade. Fentanyl synthesis requires specific knowledge and equipment. The consistency of Chemist King 88's product indicated trained chemists with access to laboratory facilities, not amateurs following internet recipes, professionals applying legitimate skills to illegal purposes. The financial management was equally sophisticated. Cryptocurrency revenues were converted through a network of exchanges across multiple countries. The money flowed through Hong Kong, Singapore, and various offshore jurisdictions before reaching accounts in mainland China. Tracing the full financial trail required cooperation from 7 different national authorities. The shipping methodology evolved continuously. Early shipments used standard international mail. As customs inspection increased, the operation shifted to commercial freight hidden among legitimate exports. When that channel faced pressure, they established reshipping networks using American intermediaries who received packages and forwarded them domestically. Every enforcement adaptation was met with operational evolution. The syndicate learned faster than the systems trying to stop it. The Chinese investigation eventually produced results. 8 months after the initial request, authorities identified the facility, a pharmaceutical research company specializing in pain management medications, licensed, inspected, apparently legitimate. But employee records revealed connections to the Darknet operation. 12 researchers with chemistry backgrounds. Several had previous employment at facilities previously linked to illegal fentanyl production. The pattern was clear. Chinese authorities conducted their own surveillance. What they documented confirmed the worst suspicions. The facility operated 2 production lines. The official line manufactured legitimate medications for export markets. The unofficial line, operating during evening hours with a skeleton crew, produced fentanyl for Darknet distribution. The legitimate business provided perfect cover. Chemical precursors could be ordered without suspicion. Laboratory equipment was already in place. Quality control processes ensured consistent product. The illegal operation parasitized the legal one, invisible to routine inspection. Monthly production capacity of the illegal line, approximately 40 kilograms of finished fentanyl. Annual output approaching 500 kilograms. The operation had been running for an estimated 4 years, suggesting total historical production exceeding 2,000 kilograms. 20 billion lethal doses had been manufactured in this facility. A significant portion had reached American streets. The coordinated operation required months of additional planning. American targets had to be identified and surveilled. Chinese authorities had to prepare their own action. Timing had to be synchronized across 12 time zones. The American component focused on the distribution network that chemist King 88 had built domestically. The cooperating witness had provided names and locations. Additional investigation had identified dozens more. A network of re-shippers, distributors, and dealers who transformed Darknet purchases into street-level sales. 47 American targets across 19 states, warehouses, residences, storage facilities, each holding product awaiting distribution or cash from recent sales. The Chinese component targeted the production facility and the homes of the 12 identified chemists. The operation required coordination with multiple provincial authorities. Security concerns demanded operational secrecy that was difficult to maintain across bureaucratic structures. A leak was always possible. The syndicate might be warned, evidence might be destroyed, the chemists might flee. The operation was scheduled for a Wednesday, middle of the week, normal business operations, maximum likelihood that targets would be at expected locations. 0600 hours Eastern Time, 1400 hours in Wuhan. Execution began simultaneously. American operations struck first by the clock. DEA tactical teams hit priority targets across the eastern seaboard. The reshipping hub in New Jersey fell within minutes. 14 kilograms of fentanyl discovered in a suburban garage. The homeowner, a retiree recruited through Darknet forums, claimed ignorance of the contents. Evidence suggested otherwise. Distribution nodes in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia were hit in rapid sequence. Each location yielded product, cash, documentation. The network that had fed fentanyl into Appalachian communities was being dismantled piece by piece. By 0900 hours Eastern, American operations were substantially complete. 38 of 47 targets secured. 9 targets found empty, subjects apparently warned or coincidentally absent, but the seizures were substantial. Fentanyl recovered, 63 kilograms across all American locations. Cash seized, $4.7 million. Documentation recovered, customer lists, shipping records, financial accounts. The evidence would support prosecutions for years. The Chinese operation commenced as scheduled. Authorities entered the pharmaceutical facility during normal business hours. The legitimate production line was operating. Workers were detained for questioning. The illegal production area was discovered exactly where intelligence indicated. Hidden behind a false wall in the facility's basement, laboratory equipment, chemical precursors, finished product awaiting shipment. 11 of 12 targeted chemists were detained at the facility or their homes. The 12th had traveled to Shanghai for a conference. He was apprehended at his hotel that evening. Chinese authorities seized approximately 78 kilograms of finished fentanyl, precursor chemicals sufficient for an additional 300 kilograms of production, laboratory equipment valued at over $2 million, financial records documenting years of illegal sales. The syndicate that had operated with impunity for 4 years was destroyed in a single day. Let me describe the full scope of what was accomplished. Combined fentanyl seizure, 141 kilograms, representing approximately 1.4 billion lethal doses removed from circulation. Financial disruption, exceeding $47 million when cryptocurrency accounts, frozen bank assets, and seized cash were combined. Arrests, 38 in the United States facing federal trafficking charges, 12 in China facing prosecution under Chinese law. The Chinese legal system imposed severe penalties for drug manufacturing. Several defendants faced potential death sentences. The customer database recovered from the syndicate's servers identified over 14,000 American buyers. Many were end users whose information was referred to treatment resources rather than prosecution. but over 200 were identified as significant distributors warranting further investigation. The downstream impact of those investigations would continue for years. Each distributor had their own customer network. Each network fed street-level dealers. The Chemist King 88 takedown was not an endpoint, but a beginning of broader disruption. The deaths prevented by this operation were calculated with sobering methodology. Based on the 40-kilogram monthly production capacity, continued operation would have generated approximately 480 kilograms annually. Historical mortality rates for Chemist King 88 product suggested approximately 2 deaths per kilogram distributed. Projected annual deaths prevented, approximately 960. Over a 5-year projection horizon, the operation prevented approximately 4,800 deaths, nearly 5,000 Americans who will live because this syndicate was destroyed. But DEA Hunter must also document the limitations. Chemist King 88 was one vendor among hundreds operating on Darknet marketplaces. The takedown created market opportunity for competitors. Within weeks, other vendors had expanded operations to fill the void. The supply of Darknet fentanyl had not been eliminated. Only one source had been removed. The Chinese enforcement action, while significant, did not address systemic issues. The pharmaceutical industry that provided cover for illegal operations continued operating. The precursor chemical supply chain remained intact. The conditions that enabled Chemist King 88 persisted. New syndicates were already forming. New chemists were being recruited. New Darknet identities were being established. The game continued with different players. The technology that enabled anonymous drug sales continued evolving. Cryptocurrency privacy features improved. Encryption became more accessible. The tools of the trade became more sophisticated with each enforcement action, and American demand remained constant. The 14,000 customers identified in the Chemist King 88 database did not stop seeking fentanyl. They simply found other sources. The addiction that drove their purchases was not affected by the arrest of their supplier. This is the complete picture. Victory and limitation. Success and ongoing challenge. Chemist King 88 is gone. The 12 chemists face justice. The network is dismantled. The deaths they would have caused will not occur. But somewhere in China, in India, in Mexico, in countless other locations, other chemists are synthesizing other batches. Other vendors are establishing other storefronts. Other shipments are being prepared for other customers. The Darknet fentanyl trade is not a problem that can be solved through enforcement alone. It requires international cooperation that remains incomplete. It requires demand reduction that remains underfunded. It requires treatment access that remains insufficient. What can be accomplished through enforcement is disruption, delay, degradation of capability, making the business harder, making the risks higher, saving the lives that can be saved while working toward comprehensive solutions. Operation Digital Dragon saved nearly 5,000 lives. That number matters. Those people matter. Their families matter. The fight continues because the threat continues, because technology evolves, because chemistry cannot be unlearned, because demand persists. One syndicate destroyed, countless others operating. The work is never finished. What surprised you most about this investigation? The scale of a single Darknet vendor's impact, the sophistication of Chinese manufacturing operations, or the 14,000 American customers funding the syndicate? Share your thoughts below. How should international cooperation evolve to address Darknet drug trafficking? What role should technology companies play in preventing their platforms from enabling these markets? This has been DEA Hunter. Operation Digital Dragon, 141 kilograms seized. 47 million disrupted, 12 chemists facing justice, 4,800 lives saved. Because a username is not anonymity, because distance is not protection, because justice crosses borders. Subscribe for more operations. Share this story. Follow DEA Hunter for the investigations that protect your community. The Darknet is not dark enough to hide forever. The chemistry leaves traces. The money leaves trails. The deaths demand answers. Stay vigilant, stay informed, stay alive. DEA Hunter, hunting the invisible.